a broadcasting legend in his own mind. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone had a great weekend. We got Captain Jack and Nevada Nick. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
And,
I'm good.
Captain got his Kobe jersey on.
Yeah, but I didn't get the one that I wanted on. Okay, and we'll talk about that in this show today. Hopefully, remind me.
Okay.
Fuck the bots, man. Fuck the bots.
Okay. And
I thought it was nice too. California did name Kobe Bryant Avenue today. Name one of their streets Kobe Bryant Avenue. So I thought that was a nice touch too for Kobe Day.
Okay.
Do you know where, Nick? Because we're going to be talking about that with Angela and I in a little bit.
I would assume, Captain. I'll look it up. I would assume somewhere close to the stadium, most likely. But
right.
I don't know which street exactly, and I'm not very familiar with LA, obviously.
Okay.
But I will look it up for you, Captain.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's got to be probably right. I would assume right by the stadium there.
Yeah.
And,
now, Coach, do you mind if I start with Brett Brown, or do you want to go somewhere else?
No, go ahead. You could jump right in with.
All right.
I was going to start with that anyway, so go ahead.
Right. I think obviously that broke about a half an hour ago. I don't think anybody's surprised that obviously after the as Captain gives his surprise face, I don't think anybody was surprised, even if the Sixers, took it 7, or let's say they upset the Celtics. I think Brown was gone. I'm just a little surprised they held on to Elton Brand because honestly, for this year, I would blame Brand more than I would blame Brown. Brown even said yesterday after they lost Game 4, got swept and got embarrassed really throughout the whole series. He said they had trouble with spacing all year, pretty much talking about the Al Horford signing, a guy they gave $104 million to end up coming off the bench by January. So, to let Butler go and, after you look, they lost to the NBA champion on four bounces it made before it went in when they lost in Game 7 to the Raptors.
Actually, I thought it was more. I thought it was like 6.
Yeah, it might have been, Captain. To make that move when you had a team like that and let Butler go and then let Redick go, even more importantly. And they just, like I said, they always say about these shooters, well, then why are you letting guys like that go? It just didn't make sense to me. And so they're going to let Brand stay and reorganize the rest of the front office when, to me, I would just get a GM in and then let him find his coach. And then I don't know, Cap, you got something to say about the Sixers or you got nothing there?
No, I was just going to say is that, and I agree with you there. It's like Brand sucks. And I agree that if you're going to rebuild the product, like I said, what were we going to say, the new process or the old process sucked, or whatever your byline is going to be, okay, don't let a person that was involved in that process stick around if you're going to need to either clean house, sweep out different people, get a real, and this was my main point, get a real general manager in there. What experience does Elton Brand have other than I think he was with the Clippers for a little while and he was like a protege? I'm sorry, man, you suck, and you need to get a real GM in there. And that franchise, wasn't that the franchise that had the Colangelo incident with the Twitter, all of the different things like that? They haven't had anybody real, and unfortunately. Jerry was the best GM that they've had in a while, okay? So get a real general manager. They're out there, okay? There are people with experience. Maybe they haven't had the full title of GM, but there are people that are in player development and all that goes with it. There's a young stud out there somewhere that you can find to do the real job. Get rid of Elton Brand, period.
Yeah, I agree. And it'll get a guy like Toronto got. They brought him in, and he did a great job with them. I know they got Kawhi, but he did a great job. And Captain Jack, it was Jerry's son, Brian Colangelo. And the only thing against Colangelo, he was doing good, but I mean, his biggest mistake obviously was the drafting Fultz over Tatum. That was the one thing against him. But yeah, they got pressed into that situation because all that happened with Colangelo, and then they had to, they made Brett Brown, interim GM basically until they could find somebody, and then they announced Brand basically, I think it was like October or November, and then he 2 months later he pulls off that Butler trade, which I was happy with, and then they get Tobias Harris, and I was like, okay, we're looking good, but then just they gave up a lot to get Butler and then to let him walk, and then you sign, and they saved all that money to be able to have flexibility, and now they got 4 players tying up a ton of cap money in Harris, Embiid, Simmons, and Horford. So now they're handcuffed, and you wonder what can they do? Who's going to take Al Horford's contract on? I mean, that's going to be the problem. Now you got a huge decision in who do you hire as your head coach, and there's not much out there. We had talked off air. There's a lot of rumors. Obviously, Ty Lue, who was with the Cavs and won a title. Jay Wright, Villanova guy, he's rumored to be there. I don't see that. I had mentioned to Coach, I wouldn't mind seeing Mark Jackson throw his hat in the ring and give a look, and then I'm sure Jason Kidd might get an opportunity too.
Hey, Stiz is a mind reader, man. As soon as words were going out of your mouth, seriously, unless you were, kind of feeding Stiz some stuff before, but if not,
I just think brilliant minds think alike.
Now,
man, wait, whoa, let me get my fucking boots on for that shit, because that shit is
well,
high.
that's Nevada Nick. That's his muse or whatever. He needs his rub down from Stiz. His Lucky Charm or whatever.
Stiz will tell you he was standing by me on Saturday and Sunday again at Harris, and I hit again. Boom. Another 500 in my pocket over the weekend.
Look, when two fat guys leaning on the table like that, the dice go a different way.
We were playing slots. We weren't playing. We weren't playing table games. We were playing slots there, Coach.
All right.
And just to address in the beginning, Captain, when it says how does it say? Something in his own mind. What is it?
Legend.
In his own mind. When Captain points to his brain. The only reason I don't do it is because there's nothing up there. So I just, I keep it to go because it's just hollow and empty.
I'm not saying that I'm the legend in the old mind. I'm giving it to Coach because he's the legend in his own mind. There you go.
Is then Jason Dean, big boned, exactly.
Yeah. This is a big bone right here too. Okay, yeah. I'm hiding a basketball.
I was born with a slow metabolism.
That to gonorrhea eyes, pee.
I don't know why he's on the milk carton, man.
He is. Yeah.
Actually, it was funny. I did hear from him when I did my I said, hey, I was sending out all of these patches to everybody, and then I made some comments that they were all going to the UK, and he's like, say, hey, UK rocks, right? Then he made another comment. He goes, you didn't send me mine. It was not a schmuck. You tool. It was you. Insert negative, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I wrote him a comment back, and when I pushed send, it said, you can't reply to this because the comment is no longer there. So I saw it, Tommy. I saw your little fucking comment about my patches not going out to you. So if you think you're being sly, like I didn't see it, hey, you got another thing coming there. There you go. And I am a legend.
Now, listen, before we're kind of getting off track, but before we leave the Sixers, okay. Embiid, is he in his Sixer uniform next year?
You do, Nick.
Yeah, 100%. I don't see how you trade him. I wouldn't trade Simmons either. I think if they were to trade either of the two, it would be Simmons, just because I think Simmons might be able to get, I don't think it'll be comparable, but maybe get a return that they'd be okay with. Embiid, it's not a big man's league anymore. That's why I didn't understand the Al Horford thing. Al Horford would have been great if it was in the 1980s, when they were playing the basketball they played back then, which was defense, tough. You know, you had the Horace Grants, the Rick Mahorns, those bigger power forwards, Charles Barkley. It's a different game. They like to stretch floors now. The Dirk Nowitzki's to stretch the floor to shoot. It's a different game than it used to be. So it didn't make any sense. But I did kind of mention that they want to run back Embiid and Simmons still. So unless you get overwhelmed with an offer, a lot of people were talking about them trading one of them to the Warriors for the 2 pick. But for a prospect, and in basketball, in basketball, you never know. Look at Fultz. Like, he was the 1 pick, and you see a lot of duds in basketball.
Yeah, I agree to an extent. You want to keep Simmons, and I think that you unfortunately, and this goes back to what I was saying about getting a new GM in there and letting the GM get his coach in there. Okay, so obviously sweep Brand away, get a real GM, get the coach, and say, Coach, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Now, you're not going to get the return on value for either person, okay? But I think that one of them needs to go, and if you can get rid of Horford too, then obviously that's another person in the equation. But between Embiid and Simmons, you got to get rid of one of them because you need to get capital back. You're not going to get back what you're giving away, but you need to have key players with the one key that you're going to keep, and then hopefully you can get something for Horford as well. I'm not saying you need to blow it up, but you need to take a baseball bat to the piñata. Okay, you're going to destroy it a bit, but you need to do something to make that team a lot better.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a problem with Embiid or Simmons as much it's a problem of the players around them. That's what I think it is. And Simmons, people complain about him shooting, but Jason Kidd couldn't shoot. Magic Johnson couldn't shoot early on in his career. He's still a very good basketball player. You know, he's an all NBA first team defender, you know, that capability. And then, you know, he's great in transition. And look, he's still scoring 19, 20 points a game. No, he's never going to be shooting threes and all that. Like I said, I would keep them both. Like I said, unless, you know, you like my cousin had brought up one trade about trading Jason Richardson and Simmons for Devin Booker, I would do that. I would give a first-round pick, too, because I think, you know, that would fit their team better. But still, I just don't see them moving on from them.
No, we'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
They need to do something, though, Coach. If you let the status quo be what it is, you're bringing in a new coach, not to a dumpster fire. Oh no, it'd have to improve to be a dumpster fire. It's like a towering inferno. Yeah. Okay, like the movie with Steve McQueen and Fred Astaire and the all-star cast. It's gone beyond dumpster fire. It is the towering inferno. I think OJ was in that one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Now, you want to get into the other big news, Coach?
No. Actually, because listen, Chris Lentz, the Flyers closed it out,
right?
And now they're going to start with the Islanders.
Yeah,
that's a tough series.
Very tough series.
One. Yeah, I think that. I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to walk on you, but I think the Islanders are going to be probably the harshest opponent that the Flyers have to get past. And the reason why I say that is the Bruins are a big husky team like the Flyers, so they'll match up. It'll be basically two heavyweights going after each other if they get that far. Lightning is a really a good team, but their finesse overall with really good goaltending. And maybe I'm wrong, and I was actually asking my boy Jimmy Farrell, who's a big Islanders fan. I said, I foresee this as an improved Canadiens team, some really pesky guys around the puck, can pepper Carter Hart, and if you get a couple bounces, the wrong way, you get those silly goals, and I think it's just going to come down to, obviously, Carter Hart has got the stand on his head. The Flyers defense was really good overall against the Canadiens, but one of my boys up in Canada, Serge, saying, "Hey man, we hit the post like 4 or 5 different times. And I would recall they did. They had a lot of goals that were not quite there. So the Flyers really got to step it up. I think if they get past the Islanders, they have a good chance of taking the East over who gets beat up more between the Bruins and the Lightning. But they got to get past the Islanders. And, you know, Daryl, my boy, says that the Islanders in 6. So I'm hoping he's wrong.
Well, I mean, in Vegas, just to show you, Flyers are a small favorite. So they're expecting a very good series. You know, honestly, I think Montreal outplayed Philadelphia in the series. I'm talking not one game, in the series. I mean, they almost got shot 2-1 in Game 6. I think Carter Hart was the difference. I mean, now look, I don't think we got a goal from any of our top 5 scorers from the regular season. That's got to change. The power play's got to be better. I mean, I know in Vegas, look, going into
Hayes and Voracek had some goals in the last couple games.
Voracek wasn't in the top 5, though, I don't think. But
okay,
going through Game 5, I know they didn't. I wasn't sure about Game 6, and I think you're right because I think Hayes might have broke that in Game 6 when he got his goal. But still, I mean, they need to play better. They need to get more goal. I mean, you can't put all this pressure on a goalie playing in his first postseason. So. But I agree with you. I think this is going to be – I mean, look, they faced some adversity in Montreal and got through it. But if they don't play better, they're going to lose this series. So they got to up their game a little bit, and we'll see what happens. I mean, but they do play a good defense, good goaltending. It's going to be an interesting series. But I'm going to go Flyers in 7.
Okay. But now what do you think I have a little bit of issue with the NHL going to move let's just call it the Final Four, the conference championship to Edmonton, where I just think, why not just keep everybody where they are and then move one team? Why you got to move 2 teams? Do you know what I'm saying? Like after this round, they're going to go from Toronto to Edmonton. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have, you're moving the bubble unnecessarily is my point. Instead of just let's play the finals in Toronto, the conference finals, and then let that winner go. You're only moving 1 team.
Well, 2 teams technically, because you're moving the Western.
They're already there.
I thought the West was playing in Vancouver. Am I wrong? The Rogers Center was in. I thought it was in
Toronto. Rogers Center is Toronto.
Okay, what's the other one?
I thought it was Edmonton and Toronto they were playing at.
Okay, well, if so, then I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, now
I might be wrong.
In regards for Jason Dean, I'll tell you, Vegas is looking really good. Avalanche lose Game 1. I know my cousin's high on them. I'm really high on them, and he texted me today. Their goalie's out now, too, for the Avalanche. He got hurt. So I would think tonight, I mean, you don't want to go down 2-0 to Dallas tonight. Then you got to win 4 and 5, basically, which is a tall order. It's a tall order in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's almost about a must-win for the Avalanche tonight. And Vegas is just going through teams. I mean, they've been very impressive. I mean, look, they were just in the Cup, what was it, not last year, the year before, right? I think
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, because they, obviously St. Louis won last year. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost the Cap.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, Vegas is looking good, and I could just tell by not other Vegas, the Flyers were the favorite going into the postseason. They ended up being the favorite. Now they've fallen down. Vegas is ahead of them. Tampa Bay's ahead of them. Boston's ahead of them, which shows you they don't like how they're playing, obviously.
Right.
I was surprised Tampa lost yesterday. I mean, they ended up they were down 3-0, and I think they scored 2 goals and made it 3-2.
Right. And it was funny because I had just turned on the Lightning game literally in time, like turn, click, score. It was like 1-0 when Boston scored. And Boston has been playing recently like they were the number 1 seed going into the not the tournament but the free for all that they had, whatever you call that shit, the round robin. And I tell you, Pasternak, Bergeron, and Marchand, who I can't stand, but they are that number 1 line in Boston for a reason, and they put together that third goal. And if it wasn't for Hedman, getting those 2 goals last night. Granted, the second one was off a defender that went in, and it was with like a minute 20 to go, and they had already pulled. They made it a game at the very end, and like I said, and I said this before when Hedman went down. I said Tampa has no chance of winning without Victor Hedman. Hedman came back the next game, and it was good to go. But Hedman is a catalyst there. They still don't have Stamkos. It's going to be hard for the Lightning to get past Boston if they don't have Stamkos and legitimacy in their defense. But they got overpowered last night. The 3-2 was actually not as indicative of what that game was. Boston steamrolled them, and they better come back in game 2.
Yeah, and that's what's so weird about the playoffs. Just like in basketball, you play all year to try to get the home ice or home court advantage, and now you don't have it. Like you're seeing it in the Clippers. The Clippers, had the 2nd seed, but now if you go to 7 with Dallas, you don't have that home court advantage, which is really huge. It really is. The players fuel off that. So it's a very different playoff year for hockey and basketball, obviously, and it makes it different. And that's why I said I think it's important for the Flyers tonight to get out and get a win because they're that type of team, especially that, they play really well when they start a game good and get a lead. I know one game against Montreal, they did end up going up 2-0 and losing the game, but still, they like playing from ahead. They kind of like the Niners were in football. They like to be ahead of teams. And yeah,
that's a dirty word. That's a dirty word. Don't ever mention that word again. Man.
What, play ahead of teams?
No. The Niners. That's Niners. just a dirty word. Okay.
Because of the old crosstown rival, is that why?
I just can't stand the Niners, and I'm not even from out in California. But the
Niners might be picking up another player, so
because I figured once the problem is, Nick, is football is our wheelhouse. So I wanted to cover some of the other stuff because once we get into football, there's no going back.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, and before we get there,
hold on.
Yeah, before we get there, Jason Dean has the segue right there. Oh, actually 2. Yeah. Okay. SummerSlam, who gives a shit? Okay, I'm sorry.
I watched SummerSlam last night. I did.
Okay, well then you can comment on it, and then you can say, then you can talk about Luka Doncic because I believe that definitely deserves at least 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. No. So SummerSlam, it's SummerSlam. I don't think many people, Jason Dean, we can private message about SummerSlam, although I did like it. But Luka, last night was his coming out party in the NBA. Everybody knew the potential. We've known that. But I think last night, what's that?
This isn't an LGBTQ thing.
No, it's not coming out in that sense. Coming out and letting them know. Everybody knew of his.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Because remember, if you're going to say it, you have to say all of the acronym, and I'll get that acronym back up for you.
Yeah, no, everybody knew he had potential, but I think last night was his letting everybody know. You got to consider him among the top 5 players in the NBA, and I'm not one of the prisoner of a moment guys. I'm really not. But look, Kawhi's considered. LeBron and Kawhi are considered the 2 best players in the NBA, and he outplayed Kawhi last night. And that's on a bum ankle. They weren't even sure if he was going to play last night, and that's without Porzingis. It's a wrestling pay-per-view.
Agree.
Or Coach, as Jeremy Piven calls it, Summerfest.
SummerSlam is what you do with your girlfriend when and I'm just going to go that's it. SummerSlam is what you do with your girlfriend and another girl, and then like with a video camera, and that's just it's a bad movie on Cinemax at 2 a.m. on a Saturday. That's what SummerSlam is.
That would be Skinemax. That's what they usually call it. But no, so Porzingis was out last night too. Who's the Robin to his Batman, which also, Coach, kind of makes me question Porzingis. He had knee soreness, But it's like, yo, man, you're down 2-1. It's game 4 in the playoffs, and you're not playing. And that's one of the reasons I think the Knicks shipped him off, because they're worried about a guy who's 7'3", 7'4" with knee problems.
Yep.
He would. Well, it was that. Plus, they thought he was soft. Coach, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think they thought he was soft. I thought he was soft. I mean, you know, he just wasn't there. He's starting to be. It was more his brother is his agent, and his brother was starting to be a whiner and causing issues. So I think it was best to just ship him out. And I was happy when the Knicks did that.
Yeah, and what Jason Dean said too, Seth Curry had a big game, and that's Steph's brother. And they've kind of had similar careers where, you know, Steph came in, was good, but he really got better as he got older. And Seth's kind of been the same way, and he was a huge part of that game. And, hey, man, you got to look, the Mavs, it's pretty cool when you have a team and you lose a guy like Nowitzki, and then, boom, it's kind of like what happened with the Colts when Manning left. Yeah. And then it's like Andrew Luck walked in the door. Right. Not many franchises get lucky like that. And now, you know, Nowitzki leaves, and you get a guy like Doncic who, as I say in hockey, honestly, if I was starting a franchise, that's who I'd take. Because you got to understand, now if I'm playing 1 year, no, I would take Kawhi or LeBron. But if I'm starting a franchise, I'm taking a 21-year-old kid in Doncic who's got a future ahead of him. Kawhi's 29, LeBron's 36.
So he's the real Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pulling one out of my ass, you know, the guy that was supposed to be, you know, the golden child, and then it's like I think he's, if he's not out of the league by now, he should be. But yeah, Doncic had a lot of positives about him, and he's living up to him. Yeah. And I'm glad to say that.
And you know, a lot of European players get this, that they're soft. They don't play defense. A lot of them get that rap. And, man, he is anything but soft. I mean, he's got the ball in his hands a lot. He's tough. He's fiery. I'm a fan. I mean, and last night, it was a great back-and-forth game last night. And, man, down 2-1, you're losing by, I think, they were down a point to throw up a 30-foot three-pointer to win the game. I mean, it was just, ice cold, going through his blood.
Okay, I stand corrected. Rubio is still taking money from some team that's stupid enough to pay for him. There you go.
There you go. So let's jump over a little baseball real quick. You know, the Yankees got swept by the Rays. Go figure. And
Phillies blew another game.
And then
they won last night.
I know, but
they won last night.
That's after losing 5 straight, Captain.
Yeah, I know, but at least they didn't get swept by, you know. And I tell you, I will say, yeah, Phillies suck, and I said it. And it was a hell of a play at the plate last night to seal the victory on national TV on BSPN. You know, and I was looking for it, so that's why I was going back and forth between. I said the Phillies are going to. They're going to lose this one. They're going to lose this one. Going to lose this one. So I was like, fully expecting it to happen, and it didn't. So thank God for was it McCutchen that threw it? Was it McCutchen that threw it? The ball to Knapp at the plate, or was it the other Quinn? I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Quinn, but he called him safe at first. He thought JT was off the plate.
You're two different plays. Different plays. Okay. Yeah, but you were talking about when they had it was a forced play at the plate. There was the bases were loaded. They came home and they called him safe. That was like the inning before. Okay. And they called him safe. And JT is looking at him like, what? I don't know what you're smoking, dude. But it's like I had the foot down tap. I looked at it. Then I pivoted to throw to first base without the play. Yeah. So the umpire was like, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. But the play that I'm talking about was the throw. What was it, like 5-4? Or I think was the final. But the guy was coming around, and it was either Quinn or McCutchen threw from deep left field, one bounce, snap, and he led him to the third base side. And I can see why the Braves coach would possibly do like a I'm gonna look at it, because it was kind of like the old rule, like was it the Buster Posey rule, where the catcher was out in front, but he was led. He wasn't out in front of the plate. He was led that way by the throw, and it was a perfect throw. One bounce, glove, tag down, you're out, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, but the one thing that's good for the Phillies is they're in a shitty division. It's the Braves and everybody else. So Marlins are in second. I think the Phillies are in the cellar again.
I thought Washington's in the cellar.
I don't know. It's one of them. I think it's the Phillies.
Yeah, last night the Phillies were in the. If I got rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll the one team who's playing good too, Coach, is your Chicago White Sox, who we both picked. I didn't pick them to win the division, but I think you picked them to win the division.
No,
I picked them to make the playoffs.
Maybe I did.
But yeah, they I think they lost yesterday, but they had won 6 straight. They're starting to play really well. But to me now, like I said, it's the Dodgers. It looks like the Dodgers and everybody else, man. The Dodgers look completely dominant.
He picked Tito. Because I think Frank.
Right, he did pick Cleveland. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, he did. But I think you had Chicago at second place, though.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, and just to go back to my Yankees and Jason Dean with the Mets. Someone got COVID, so the series got canceled this weekend with the Subway Series. Mm-hmm. So they'll pick up. The Yankees will pick back up against what is it? I think Atlanta tomorrow night.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah. So but the Mets now have to play 3 doubleheaders this week.
Really?
Yeah, they got to make up a doubleheader with the Marlins, and then they have 2 doubleheaders with the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees, honestly, I'm sure they probably didn't mind having the weekend off just with all the injuries. You know what I mean? They got to get healthy.
Well, they said Judge said he should have came back for Tampa Bay, and they decided to rest him. So he was really looking forward to coming back, but we'll see. Because, let's face it, I don't think the Yankees are going to back up the Brinks truck for this guy if he can't stay healthy.
And put up what Jason Dean said, too, because that goes to the Phillies also. I forgot. Yeah, Strasburg's done for the year for the Nats.
Oh, yeah. I heard
it's really going to hurt them because that's a team that's built on pitching. I mean, obviously they lost Rendon, they lost Harper, but then you had Scherzer, Corbin, and Strasburg. Now you're losing one of those guys, so that's really going to hurt Washington. And, they're also in 4th place behind the Mets, Marlins, and Braves. So, that's really going to hurt them.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda there, Jason Dean. Yo, we woulda swept them. We would have swept them. If my aunt had a pair of balls, she'd be my uncle, man. There you go.
That's
a nice analogy. Coach, can we finally get to football?
Yes, we can finally get to football now. Finally. Thank goodness now.
I know.
So we'll start with the big news.
Right.
Is Earl Thomas got 86th from the Ravens.
Right.
Which I'm surprised. I think that news came out a little too quick. I would have thought they would have tried to shop him and get something for him,
Right. Well, when they know somebody's going, though, too, a lot of teams just don't offer anything. Just what are you going to give up? And then I don't think a lot of teams, with knowing they want to give up on him like they are, you question, do you want to take that contract back when you know they don't want him? Which he signed 4 years, $55 million last year. So what I want to hear is to come out is what happened? What exactly happened? I know there was an altercation with another player, but I'm curious to see. It's much more than that because I heard, too, they had a team vote and voted him off, which that says a lot. It really does. When your own team votes you off, you did something drastically wrong.
Well, part of it, I know this year and next year is guaranteed. So they're on the hook for this year and next year.
Right.
Obviously, they paid them last year.
Right.
But then they're on the hook for the next 2 years. And then obviously the third year, they're
Well, Captain said off air that they're going to try
fighting. They're fighting it. They're going to do
it. Yes, they are fighting that. And it's, kind of now, also the other issue is you have the NFL Players Association looking into that altercation.
Right.
Because now you're looking at two guys. You represent both guys that are involved. It's kind of weird. How is that going to play out? Because and if it does rule against Earl, you're going to be SOL. You're going to be without the money, dude.
And Coach, you had mentioned too. I mean, he was playing for two players, Coach. I mean, Pete Carroll went and got him an extension. Pete stuck his neck out on the line, and then obviously things went sour, and he gets hurt and flips the entire Seattle Seahawks bench off. So obviously, I mean, not a classy thing to do. Right. I mean, like I said, Pete Carroll's a player's coach. So, and then also is John Harbaugh. So now you can't play for those two guys. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about, because they're mentioning the Eagles in that, Eagles may go for him. I don't see that, but I am worried about the Cowboys picking him up, because what is the weakness of the Cowboys? It's the secondary. And Jerry Jones loves making big splashes.
Yeah, Nick, I wouldn't stress it. I mean, I think that he's and I would say normally you would say that you bring the vet in to be a locker room presence, okay? Normally. But if the guy is such a flaming rectal hemorrhoid that he gets bounced in Baltimore, okay, do you think you really want to bring it? Now, Jerry will do it because Jerry knows everything, and I can do this on my team. Go ahead, Jerry Jones. I tell you what, it'll be the downfall of your team by bringing in a prick such as Thomas that's just going to get the cancerous flakes all over the locker room. He's old. I like bringing back my old Howard Cosell. He had through. He's finished. He's washed up. He ain't worth it, okay? Go ahead and let Dallas do it. I think that the minuses would far outweigh the pluses there, and it'd be something that would backfire on Jerry Jones. It's backfired in the past as well. I want to get one thing with Stiz as well, real quick there, Coach. He was talking about the Raiders, Terrell Williams having a torn labrum, and he says that we're going to see Ruggs quicker. No, thanks for playing there, Stiz. I do appreciate you keeping up on who the Raiders have, but who will get seen quicker will be Edwards, the kid out of South Carolina, because that was they were the guys who were doing for, I don't know if it was X, Y, or Z, but they were the guys that were in that one area of the wide receivers. Yeah. It was Williams and Edwards. So you're going to see Edwards a hell of a lot quicker if Terrell Williams is gone. And remember, he had plantar fasciitis last year. Yeah. He's got the torn labrum this year. We had a discussion about who's out in the receiving core. Well, if you can't play, and it's unfortunate because Williams was coming back and he did a lot of work in the offseason to try to come back from plantar fasciitis. If you got a torn labrum, I think you're kind of gone.
Yeah, but they also drafted Ruggs, 12th? So, I mean,
well, he's on the other side though. It's going to be
I know, but he's gonna. I think he's going to see a lot of balls. I really do, and not talking to me. I'm talking footballs, obviously.
Yeah. Ruggs, Renfro, and Edwards. Okay, right. And it was going to be two rookies on the far outs with Renfro, the seasoned sophomore, in the slot.
But still, when one guy like Williams goes out, it's going to make more opportunities for Ruggs, obviously. I know he might not pay his position, but when you got a good player out there, he's going to see more passes. Now you put somebody, I
tell you, Edwards is going to blow people up, man. He's T.O. without the attitude. He's big, strong, fast, and can out-jump people. Ruggs is actually a guy that can he's like run a 9, but he's going to catch the ball. Cliff Branch, when he first came into the league, would run a 9 pattern and would drop it. It took him about 2 years to actually get it and make Cliff rest in peace, and he should be in the fucking Hall of Fame, but that's another story. But Ruggs actually catches the ball. The thing is with Ruggs has a lot of yak. It's like a lot of 15-yard catches, and he just burns, okay? He can run the 9, but it's more about that. Witten and Waller, and then you have Foster Moreau, the seasoned sophomore. You got a lot of capabilities there, and then you got the Joker with Bowden, the kid out of UK.
Now, How about the effect this is going to have on the Ravens, though? That's what I'm more interested in, too. I mean, you lose a guy like Yonda on offense, who's a Hall of Famer. Now you lose Earl Thomas, who I know you might not like him, but he's a Hall of Fame safety. You got to wonder the effect it's going to have on that team. I mean, like they're a defensive team, and they run the ball. I mean, there's going to be an effect of that. Like I said, there's people talking about them going 16-0. Everybody's in love with the Ravens, but you saw what Tennessee did to them, and I think a lot of teams are going to mimic what Tennessee did against Lamar Jackson, and I'm curious to see how they handle it. I mean, obviously, I still think they win the division, but I think they're going to win 11 games, 10 games. I don't see them winning 13, 14 games this year.
Yeah, and I remember the last team that went 16-0 ended up being 18-1. So fuck that anyway. But but I think the Ravens are really good. Like you said, I really think that they're going to take that division. But nobody is nowadays is going to be 16-0, and actually the Patriots shouldn't have been 16-0, which goes back to point. But they're going to win that division. But I think, as we've been talking about, Jackson is going to come down a few pegs. Now, granted, he's in his third year now, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Third year, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, he wasn't a rookie last year, so
right.
He really blew up his second year. Great. He's going to come back down, in my estimation. I've been wrong before, but actually, right. I once thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken. So I wanted to make sure that gets stated right before. I once thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken. Anyway, I think Jackson will come back a little bit to the pack. Again, all you need is one good hit on the son of a bitch. Him and Murray. All you need is him, trying to juke out and get into, and then he gets flattened by somebody because nobody has hit him yet. And he's lucky.
Look at Cam. And Cam's a big boy. Cam's 6'5", 250. And look what the beating did to him over his career. Lamar Jackson's about 40 pounds lighter and 3 or 4 inches shorter. So, I mean, and RG3 2.0, it's the truth. And then Stiz we got to talk about that too, Coach. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see, because that would not be something that shocks me, that you see him go down, and then the Ravens, I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. But it's not Lamar Jackson.
It's actually RG3. It's RG3.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. That is. You're right. That's right. But he's not Lamar Jackson anymore.
He's the boy from Penn State. Is your Penn State?
Yep. Trace McSorley. Yeah, you're right.
That's the quarterback.
McSorley would make a better quarterback if Jackson goes down.
Yeah, but if McSorley was 3 feet tall, he'd be a better quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they would want to stick to the style they play, which RG3 would fit more, obviously, because he's mobile, and the way they do the running game and the come on, Coach, you know what they run. They run the optional, not the option.
They run a lot of RPOs.
That's what I meant, the run pass option. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Always can count on Coach for the verbiage when you need
it. So anyway, I put that out
coming out of the closet.
So they got 77 positives, false positives, over the weekend. Kind of screwed up a lot of training camps, especially the Jets, the Giants, and whatnot. And it wound up being a tainted sample at the lab in New Jersey. So, but I mean, how does that work during the season? I mean, what do? You're going to test the guy on Friday, it comes back, and then on Sunday he can't play, or and then you find out it was a false positive. I mean, how's that going to work? I mean,
yeah, I guess you're going to try to get. I'm sure they're going to try to get the test too, where you get the results in, what is it, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and try to, because that's what happened with on Hard Knocks. Yes. The guy got a false positive, Rex Ryan's son.
Yeah. So it kind of so it's going to be crazy to see. And how about Joe Judge? I don't know if you guys saw this, the New York Football Giants. He made the coaches run laps.
I heard about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And even the players, like I mean,
Yeah.
even Barkley wasn't immune to his wrath, man.
Of all the we talked last week about the Belichick assistants, of all the ones that I like him for some reason. He's well respected and he's been around Belichick for quite a few years now. I wouldn't be surprised, Coach, if he's the one who finally has some success. And I know some people would say, well, Bill O'Brien has. No, Bill O'Brien to me has had talent. Yeah, he has Deshaun Watson. Right. I'm not a fan. And look what he just did as a GM. One of the dumbest trades I've ever seen in my life. Like
by DeAndre, because I don't like you.
Right.
I don't like you.
I think that'll be a coach who's on the looking for in the unemployment line by January 1 as well. Will be Bill O'Brien. Yeah,
and he'll go back to New England because that's his only friend. Is hey Bill, can I have my job back? Well, we've been talking about. I think I can use you.
I wouldn't be surprised if that he doesn't wind up there because
Coach, put up what Sid said. I didn't know that. He said they ran 58,000 tests and only 6 came back positive, and they were personnel, not players. That is a really good sign because we are less than 3 weeks now. It'll be 2 weeks from Thursday till football starts, and so far seems like everything's okay. Fingers crossed, because I don't think any of us want to not see football.
Right.
The Dolphins came out today too. They said they're going to have 13,000 fans for their first home game on September 20th against the Bills.
You said you want to see Nazi football? Go to Germany if you want to see Nazi football. Come on,
But did you see that, Coach? The Dolphins are going to have 13,000 fans their first home game?
Which will be probably more than they've ever had. That'll be more Dolphin fans that they're accustomed to. Because when you go to Dolphin Stadium, at most, this is the percentage breakdown in Miami. 40, 40, 20. And that's on a good day.
Yeah.
40, 40, 20. 40,000 Dolphin fans, or 40% Dolphin fans, 40% of the opposition fans, and 20% empty seats. And that's on a good day. You get that much of a percentage because Miami can't sell out shit. Bandwagon, man.
Now, I still think the NFL needs to
wipe it. And
I agree. And make an even playing field for everybody. It's what makes sense. I mean, and it's the right call now, especially in Florida. How are you going to have 13,000 fans in Florida, which is one of the states with upticks going on right now?
There's nobody in Florida right now. They're all back in the Northeast. I don't know what everybody's talking about. I was just down there. There's 3 people down there, and I was one of them.
Wait a second.
It's you and Captain Jack, Coach. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Who's the third person?
My daughter came with me.
Okay. I don't know who the other. Well, then don't tell about the person that's in the other room because that'll blow the number.
Oh yeah. Now, Coach, where do you got Earl Thomas going? And I have picks before the show ends, obviously, too.
All right, so we'll get to your picks. I think he wants to go to a contender. I think, if I remember correctly, he is from Texas. So correct. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up at Texas or Houston, because they're both going to probably be contenders.
Right. Yeah, I really believe he's going to end up in Dallas.
I don't think either team is a contender to win it. They're on paper, they're contenders. So
now, if you're the Niners and Richard Sherman vouched for them, and you look, Richard Sherman holds a lot of clout in the NFL and the Players Association. Yeah. Do you mess with that young Niners team and bring them in, or do you pass? Talented guy like that?
He's talented. I think if Richard Sherman says bring him in, I'd bring him in. I bring him in just because, hey, if you can handle him, then, and right. I know I see you, Captain. I see you, Jake, whatever you're doing over there.
You hearing the
no, here guys like that. If you
good.
PP Tommy going to be selling hot dogs at US Bank Stadium. We don't know where Tommy's at. We're about to do a welfare check.
Hold on. He might be at the stadium interviewing for the hot dog job.
Yeah.
Because you got to get his gonorrhea cleaned up first before you can do that.
Well,
You know,
remember now Tommy's in England. They got socialized medicine over there, so he gets that done for free.
Mm.
But it takes 2 weeks to get it done correctly. You know.
Oh, okay.
Social. I've been in a hospital in UK. Not fun.
Okay.
Not fun. Not fun.
All right, Nick. Let's hear what you got going on for today.
All right, tonight.
Hold on. Wait a
I'm gonna
second. Wait. I'm sorry. My bad.
All right.
My bad.
Oh, okay.
Next pick.
I should have broke your thumb. And if you don't want Gazzo breaking your thumbs, then listen to Nick's picks exclusively in the Huddle with Coach Muddle.
All right, now you can go.
All right. So tonight I'm gonna go with the Colorado Avalanche. I know their goalie's out, but still, that top line for the Avalanche is just sick. I think they know, they need to get a win tonight. So I'm going to go with the Avalanche tonight. And then in my other game, Astros, they're coming off getting swept. I like the Astros tonight to bounce back, get a win. So I'm going to go with the Astros and the Avalanche tonight.
Okay. All right. And now, Captain, Angela is telling me to please.
I was going to do it. Trust me.
I'm going to put it up and you do it.
That's right. Make sure tonight that you join us 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern for the 824 Remembering Kobe Bryant Mamba Day show. I got the title over here. That's why I wanted to make sure I had it said correctly. Where Miss Pacheco, who is one of the bestest Laker fans I know and has a lot of good knowledge, with a very special guest, which she will, we're going to be stay surprised, but it is a insider, a very, very prominent insider with the Lakers, is a guest today with sexy, sultry, saucy, sardonic, sarcastic, all the S's you can get with Miss Santangelo and the old Salt. That's my S, the Salt captain. Be there on the For Life R-Rater story. It's on that channel on YouTube. Okay. For Life R-Rater story. Be there for YouTube. 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. Be there for the show.
Thanks for the endorsement, Jason Dean. Always appreciated.
There you go. You know,
Just shitty picks, Nick. That's great.
I just want to know who you got with the Flyers
eventually
tonight.
Coming
The Flyers
soon, Angela will be on this show to kind of promote all of her stuff.
So the Flyers, I'm going to go with the Flyers tonight. Like I said, last series I said they'd win in 6. They won in 6. I think they got a chance to win in 6 this series too, but I'm gonna respect the Islanders and say 7. I like the Flyers tonight. I mean, they've been a team. I think they understand the importance of setting a tone in a game and in a series. So I'm gonna go with the Flyers, but they worry me. I agree with what Captain said earlier. I think if they can get through this round, they can make it to the finals. And look, that's not saying the Bruins and the Lightning aren't great teams. They are, but it's just sometimes you get those. Hockey is very strange, and you get the teams that are just playing good hockey at the right time, and we'll see. So, but yeah, I'm hoping Flyers pull it out tonight.
I hope Jason Dean's right. He says in 5. I say I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go minimum 6. Minimum 6.
Okay. Yeah. I said 7 earlier to Lentz when he popped on. Chris was on earlier.
Right.
I said 7. So,
but like I said, they need to play better because as a series, like I said earlier, I thought Montreal outplayed them in the series. It's just we had better goaltending. I mean, they got outshot 2-1 in Game 6, and I'm sure if Captain was watching it, man, I was just watching that clock count down. It was just really stressful, and that's what's great about Carter Hart because when you have a great goaltender, you're always in the hockey game.
Yeah, and like I said, thank God the posts were where they were because I kept hearing clank, 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 clank. It was at least 5 that I remember. 5 either hit the post or the crossbar. So thank God they were where they were, or it could have been a different series with the Canadiens.
All right. Good stuff. Now remember, tomorrow we'll be over on YouTube tomorrow, so make sure everyone head on over that way. Yep, that way there. Everybody, yeah.
Looks like he's doing a thing.
Yep. So, and don't forget, 8:00. Tune in to Captain and Angela. They're great show. And we'll be back tomorrow, man. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate it. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night. What?
Get your lay on and just go like that, like you do. Put your lay on.
Here's
Captain. We never got to hear the Kobe jersey.
Yeah.
We got like 2 minutes. Go ahead.
What sucks is that the Nike had a bunch of Black Mamba jerseys for sale today, and they were going on sale at 10 o'clock Eastern time, I guess 7 o'clock Pacific. And within 2 minutes, they were all gone, bought by a bunch of fucking bots. Okay. Yeah. Now they have a bunch of them on sale on eBay. Yep. Let me see, $900 or best offer, $850 or best offer. Yeah. Fuck you, bots.
Captain, a lot of people are pissed at Nike about that because when he passed away, they stopped it because they were worried about all the people in the secondary market, selling it. And then they open up, and then look what happens, because they just restarted selling his stuff this week. So
yeah, and
I know friends of mine who were like sneakerheads and they're really upset with Nike. Because all it does is to help the people with the secondary market. It's just, kind of what happens with tickets, where these scalpers and all these they get them up and then they gouge people for prices, and it takes the regular fan out of the game, which pisses me off.
I love you too, Jason.
All right, gang. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate it. All right, tomorrow. Oh, here we are. Not yet.